What's up everybody, and welcome to a new YouTube video. In today's video we're going to be discussing the things that you need to know before you start your first business, whether your business is online, digital, or if it's in person, brick and mortar. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Nathan Dunn and I'm the owner of Datasets and Nayscale. And if you don't know what Datasets is, it's a self-improvement community full of like-minded individuals who all share the same interest in improving their lives, connecting with other like-minded people, and trying to improve and become the best version of themselves, whether it's financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, you name it. Some people just join simply to connect and build a good network with each other. And there's over 200 people in my community as of today. And then we have Nayscale. And Nayscale is where I help online coaches grow and scale their business. So now that you know who I am and what I do, I'm going to share some of the main concerns and the issues that I see with majority of people who start and try to scale an online or a brick and mortar business. These questions come up very, very frequently, and if I make this video, hopefully it becomes a lot clearer for the ones who ask them and for those of you who haven't even gotten to the stage of starting your business yet and will probably seek these issues in the future. So the first thing I want to discuss is mindset. You have to realize that you are going to go through a lot of trials. You're going to fail so many times. You are going to struggle so many times. You are going to doubt yourself so many times. But you have to stay strong. You have to fortify your mind and remember, mentally prepare yourself that you are going to go through so much uncertainty, that you're going to go through so much self-doubt. There's going to be times where you're going to think, this isn't going to work out. I'm going to fail. Things are going to go very, very bad. Why aren't things working? And you start to doubt yourself. But this is just a part of the game. Every single entrepreneur goes through this. And you have to prepare your mind to become so mentally strong, to build your stress tolerance if you do not have a high stress tolerance. And I'm sorry, if you don't have a high stress tolerance and you can't work on it, you will not succeed in business. It's impossible. It is impossible. I don't care who you are. You have to go through at least the start. If you don't have a high stress tolerance, you have to work on things, go through a lot of stress, and then once things start to work out, you can delegate some stuff. That's absolutely fine. But you have to work on your mental fortitude. You also have to realize that this motivation that you might feel now because you are motivated, or you want to start a business in some way, shape or form, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be on this video right now. So you have to remember that motivation is not enough. You need to consistently work even when you don't feel like working. You need to pick up the camera. You need to start messaging. You need to pick up the phone and start fucking dialing.
Are you behind on your credit card bills? Good, pick up the phone and start dialing. Is your landlord ready to evict you? Good, pick up the phone and start dialing. Does your girlfriend think you're a fucking worthless loser? Good, pick up the phone and start dialing. I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
Even when you don't feel like it, it's just things that have to be done. Motivation will not get you anywhere because it's temporary. And if you only work when you feel motivated, you will not go far in business. Discipline has to be the way. Discipline is the key. And I don't want to sound like every single generic entrepreneur who just says, yes, you have to have discipline, but that's how it is. Without discipline, you will not succeed. You will not pass that finish line without discipline. Because at the start, you have your energy. You have the motivation to keep running. And then when things get difficult, if you run out of motivation, you'll stop. You need your discipline to kick in order to exceed that line. And also don't think that this is going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be extremely difficult. And the thing is about entrepreneurs is they are one of the most extraordinary people. And if you want to be an extraordinary person, you have to do extra things that the ordinary person does not do. You have to take actions. You have to go through certain things that the ordinary person is not willing to do. There is no safety net. There is no comfort, because when you have a safety net and you're comfortable, you become lazy. You don't work as hard because you know that everything's going to be okay. You have to have the mentality as if you do not work as hard as you possibly can, things are not going to work out. So it all depends on how much you actually want this to work. The second thing I want to discuss is marketing. It is as simple as this. If everybody knew what your business does, if everybody knew who you were, if everybody knew the value that you provided, your business would exceed far further than it is now. If you don't have a business, well, nobody knows about your business because you don't have a business. If you start a business and nobody knows you exist, you are not going to get clients. I do not care how excellent your coffee is. I don't care where it originated from, if it was from Colombia or Brazil or anywhere in Africa. I don't care if it's premium beans that you use. I don't care if your milk is extremely healthy. Does not matter. If nobody knows where your coffee shop is, if nobody knows your coffee shop actually exists, you will not make money. Marketing is one of, if not the most important skill set that you have to master. Marketing is what's going to get you from 0 to unlimited. A lot of your time, in fact, majority of your time in business should be dedicated to marketing. Because even if you have clients, even if you get some referrals here and there of people saying, oh yeah, this is great, your nanny using your product or your service somehow, depending on what you sell, and they refer them to their friends, you can only really get so much. You need to still work on reaching new eyes, expanding the business, and getting your face or your personal brand, if it's tied to your business or just your business in general, in front of as many people as you possibly can. And ways you can do this is creating content directly to your demographic, your ICP, your ideal client profile, ICP. For example, let's say I help online coaches scale a business and my business is helping online coaches. Do you think it would be a good idea for me to make content on how to build a perfect bridge? Obviously not, because who am I going to attract? People who like bridges. If I want to get my business in front of as many of my potential clients or my ICP, what kind of videos am I going to make? Videos providing value and helping online coaches, positioning myself as the authority, consistently marketing, because if you're not marketing, you're not selling. People cannot buy what they do not know exists. So once you think of your business, you need to start creating content behind your business. Now, I don't care if you're afraid to get on camera, make something work. Get in front of people in some way, shape or form. You have to do this. It's a non-negotiable. If you really want to exceed and become extremely successful in business, you have to start creating content around your product or your service. And number 3, we have skills acquisition. Now, what does this mean? This means acquiring skill sets. Why is this important? Because if you're looking to provide value to people, you need to have the skill set of providing the value. You can have as many leads coming in, you can have as many clients seeking your product or your service, but if you cannot actually provide a good service, it's not enough. If you have a coffee shop and your beans are always burnt and that you have really low quality milk and you grow your beans in the back garden and they're not ready to be sold yet because they're not ripe or something, I don't know, I'm not a barista anymore because I used to be a barista, but you know what I mean. You are not going to get far because people are going to spread word and your community are going to know that your service or your product is not good and it's very low quality. This is just one type of skill. That's your service delivery skill. There's many skills that you need to master. Important skills that are very beneficial to have are things such as sales, persuasion, marketing, skills such as these, because this is exactly how you're going to scale your business. You cannot really scale a business or start a business if you don't know how to sell. Every sales call that you're going to struggle with. Every DM from a lead that you receive, you are not going to be able to book them on a call. Every video you make, you're not going to be able to frame your offer in a way that is going to be persuading, so they actually are interested in you. And if you don't know how to sell like that, they will not actually believe that you are capable of providing them the value that you say that you can provide. So before you start your business, learn to acquire as many skill sets that are important towards whichever business model you are going to start. And don't worry, this is not a permanent thing. And it's great to have skills anyway because you become more competent. But for the skill sets that you now have and that you've truly mastered, even if you don't enjoy something, if you work on that for a good duration of time, well then, when things start to pick up, you can delegate that work that you no longer wants to do or is taking up so much of your time towards your employees, and you can start hiring people. For example, you've now acquired the skill set of sales. You don't really like doing sales calls because it takes up so much time, or you don't really like it because you get uncomfortable, some stupid reason. Whichever it is, you can then hire a sales rep to do the sales for you, and then you can delegate that work towards a sales rep, which then gives you more time to work on the skill sets that you actually enjoy doing and that you're really, really good at. But remember, without skill sets, you have nothing. So you have two options. You can either learn your skill set before you start your business, and then when you actually get clients, you are capable of delivering results immediately. Or the second option is you just go full hustle mode, and then you start acquiring leads, you get clients, and then as soon as they enter the door, you start researching and then mastering your skill. Both of these work. You can do it whichever way you want, but I honestly recommend doing number one first, which is learning and mastering the skills first, so then you are capable of providing the service and delivering the service that your clients need with immediate effect. And last but not least, number 4, sacrifices. You have to realize that there is no longer weekends. Weekends do not really exist anymore. It's you working 7 days a week, okay? You need to take this stuff seriously. There's no more going out for drinks every weekend with the lads, or going to this festival, or doing these different types of degenerate things, wasting time. Although that was a luxury, that was absolutely fantastic to have. Yes, you can do that now and again. But every single week, these different events that just waste your time can no longer happen. You need to get so comfortable with saying no to people. They just have to assume that when they ask you for something, or if you want to do something, you are going to say no. And if your friends do not respect your hustle and your circle do not respect you working extremely hard, well then you are in the wrong circle. All of my friends understand this. They ask me out of respect, of course, to do some things, especially going at the start of your journey. I've been in entrepreneurship for almost half a decade now. And at the start, it's going to be difficult because they're going to be like, what is he doing? What is Keane doing? What is Paul or John doing? Usually he'd say yes to this stuff all the time. He loves going out and going to the club or parties or watching the game on the weekend or something like that. Anything on those lines. He used to love doing that. Well, what's changed? Well, you changed. And they have to respect that. And if they don't respect that, well, the unfortunate thing is you need to be careful of that. You might have to burn some bridges. You might need to make some new friends. You're gonna get to a stage to where you're in an uncomfortable situation because you can no longer hang out with your old friends because you have nothing to relate to anymore. You are always trying to improve. You're consistently focusing on the future, and all they can do is talk about what they're going to do on the weekend or what happened last weekend. And last weekend you were stuck grinding in your room, on your laptop, creating content, working on yourself. You were in the gym, you were networking with other people. You were doing everything that you possibly can to improve yourself and your business, and that they can no longer relate to you because you have different goals in life. And that's going to be difficult, and that's one of the sacrifices that you need to make. But it's an extremely important one, and it is so essential. You need to get comfortable saying no. No more wasting time. Money. That's it. Now, I don't want you getting this whole perception of business and thinking like everything is bad and that it's going to just be an endless struggle of just pain and suffering and tiredness. It's not like that, okay? But I have to be the person to be honest with you and tell you the truth of some things that people don't tell you, because there's such things as shiny object syndrome, and that's something that so many people struggle with nowadays. They go on social media and they see these different content creators and influencers and they make business seem to be so blissful, just so fantastic and easy, and just there's no cons, and it's not like that. But if you go through this phase of just consistent discipline and hard work and resilience, you are going to reap the rewards of the labor that you are going to be putting in for the next couple of years. And trust me, that part is going to be blissful. You're going to love it. There's so many pros that come with the cons. So many. And the pros outweigh the cons 100x. When you get to the position to travel the world to wherever, whenever, with whoever, anytime you want, that feeling is amazing. When you get to delegate, work, and do whatever you want, that feeling is amazing. When you get to live a true life of freedom, that feeling is amazing. So trust me, if you go through these next couple of months dedicating your time and your attention and your craft towards developing your skill sets, providing value to people, and taking this seriously, getting used to saying no to people, your future self is going to thank you so much. And not only your future self, but your future family, your future kids, and your loved ones. Everybody in your circle is going to thank you because you were willing to do the extra work to become an extraordinary person and do the things that the ordinary person is not willing to do. So I hope you found this video very helpful. If you did, I'd appreciate if you could like and subscribe. If you're interested in joining my self-improvement community datasets, I have it linked in the description. And if you're an online coach or know an online coach looking to grow and scale their business, you will also see a link saying book a call with Nayscale, and you can book a call with me or my team, and we can see if we can improve and scale your business. See you in the next one.